time to get some dope shots. Hey, what's up, friends? Will here with Learn Real Estate Photography, and we're back again with another banger for you. Today, we are in the Proctor district of Tacoma. We've got a cute little rambler that we're going to be shooting. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's jump to it. So based on the intro, you guys might be wondering, Will, what's going on with the lightsaber? And that is because I had an agent who I'm shooting this house for, and they were telling me, oh, there's a few lights that are out today. So today, just in case we need it, I'll be bringing along this lightsaber with me just to make sure that I can get all the shots necessary and make sure everything is lit and looking clean. So with that being said, today's goals are to have a lot of fun, get some dope shots, some super bangers, and then we're also going to be prepared for the unexpected, because with real estate photography, you honestly never know what is going to happen. First things first, we're going to get the house prepped. We're going to get the gear prepped and ready and go through all of our settings, and then we'll jump into shooting, how I capture all the angles, what I'm thinking about as I go through the shoot, making sure that I'm capturing some really high quality angles with the wide. I've also brought a 50mm to get some nice close-ins and some detail shots. After we go through the interior, then we'll jump outside, capture some exterior shots with the drone, wrap everything up by sending them off to the editor. I've had a lot of great clients along the way. This one is for my friend Holly. She is so awesome. I've been working with her for probably over 7 years now, and she's been a great client the whole time. She's basically family. Of course, if you guys have any questions or comments, please let me know down below. I'm happy to answer all of them. I'm just trying to help you guys learn, share my process, be really transparent, and just like let you guys know how it all goes down. Let's jump into it. First, let me show you guys the camera gear that I'm using to get these shots. And again, this is my personal preference. I find it works awesome for me in my workflow. There's a million different ways that anyone can go about capturing real estate photos. So if it's up to you, go for it. I love it. What I've got is the Sony a7S III. This is a full frame camera. It captures great low light footage. It's a hybrid camera. So when I'm here, I'm shooting photos, I'm shooting video. It looks incredible. I've also got the Sony 16-35 f4 PZ GM, which is an awesome lens. I find for real estate, it is super perfect. It really captures a nice wide at the 16mm. You can zoom in a little bit to 35, and that's pretty nice for like some detail shots. I've also got a B+W CPL filter on here. I find the circular polarizer can be really nice. We've got hardwood floors. It can reduce the reflections. When I'm outside, it can really bring up the saturation of the grass and the plants and things like that. If I'm in the bathroom, I can get rid of reflections that are on the shower and things of that nature. It's just a really nice little addition. Sony 50mm 1.4 G Master. What I love about this lens is that it captures incredible detail shots. So using this lens is a quick way to stand apart from other real estate photographers. Now, what do I mean by stand apart from other photographers? Well, the world of real estate photography is actually pretty cutthroat. There's a lot of people out there. It's very simple just to get a wide angle lens, go to a house, go to the corner, and snap a few shots, right? So you have to find out a way to set yourself apart, to add more value to your client, to help your agent feel like they're putting out the absolute best quality material that they can to get more eyeballs, more people attracted to the listing, come check it out and finally get a buyer, right? And so with a 50mm, I find it's the perfect sweet spot to get details. So finding creative ways that you can stand apart from your competition is going to be absolutely key and something I really recommend you do. Now, in terms of gimbal, I've got the DJI RS3 Pro. It's an awesome gimbal, works really great if you get the RS3 regular or maybe an RS2, RS4. It's so nice. Whatever you do, I would recommend getting a nice gimbal, because if you're running handheld, it can do wonders for your footage. I've also got this secondary little handle on here. So when I'm running with the gimbal, I've got a secondary handle on here from Small Rig. This simple wooden handle attaches to the side via NATO rail. Having that secondary point of control is really valuable in helping to stabilize it, right? Because I'll be shooting photos also on the gimbal, so I can do everything lightning fast. Here's another piece of gear that I find is absolutely mandatory if you're in the real estate photography field. And that, of course, is the drone. Now, this one is the DJI Mavic 3 Pro. It's got the 3 different cameras on the front, the wide, the medium, and the tight. Got the DJI RC. You could also go with the RC Pro, which I believe is like a black color and has a little bit more like to it. But even if you get an Air, a Mavic 2, whatever, a drone is super duper key. So making sure you have that. Okay, so now that I've shared with you guys my gear that I use, I'm gonna show you exactly how I set up the gear. That means the settings and the exact modes and all that I put into it to make sure you're getting amazing shots straight out of cam. From there, we'll go through, we'll prep the listing, we'll open the blinds, we'll turn on the lights, we'll make sure it looks picture perfect. Once that's all ready to go, the next thing to do is shoot it. I'll show you guys exactly the process that I go through, which rooms I shoot first, how I shoot them, how I move through the house, all that good stuff. I'm gonna give you all my secrets here. And then once we've done that, then we'll hop outside, we'll get a few more drone shots, a few more exterior shots, and then we'll be all wrapped up and ready to set everything to the editor. All right guys, let's talk settings. I'm shooting HDR for photos, 24 FPS, 4K for video. My ISO is generally around 1,800, 640, somewhere around there. My f-stop is around 7.1. It could be 8, could be 5.6, somewhere around there. And my shutter speed, of course, is at 1/50th. I think with those settings, you're gonna be absolutely dialed in and your photos and your video should look incredible. Now, when I'm shooting on the gimbal, I'm in pan follow mode. I feel like that's the best one because it keeps your verticals perfect. And then every time I'll go through and I will calibrate it. Okay, with my settings all set up, the gimbal's all set up, everything is good to go. The next step before getting shooting is to prep the space. Let's turn on the lights. Let's make sure it looks picture perfect. So we'll make sure the lighting is good in here. And then here actually is where the light should be working behind me, but it's not. So that's something we'll have to deal with. We'll open up this door over here, flip on this light, looking good. Now, this is personal preference, but I won't turn this little side lamp on even though it's plugged in. I feel like it's not really necessary. You get plenty of natural light coming through right there. So we'll leave that off. Okay, over here, this dark hallway. Nice, looking good. Turn on the light for the bathroom. Here's the main bedroom. We'll get this light on. Let's see. I know the agent likes those ones on by the main. Oh no. Oh no, oh no. No. Wait. Okay, so what we're dealing with here in real estate is a pretty classic situation where the door is not hung correctly and thus closes by itself. But that's why we've got this right here. Nice. One of my big secrets is that when I'm going through a house, I have a really specific way that I go about shooting it. I don't just shoot any random room. What I'm doing is I'm shooting for the edit. So what does that mean? It means that as I'm shooting it, I'm thinking about exactly how I'll be lining up the clips in the video editor later on. So the way that I shoot it goes like this. I shoot the front with the door open, kind of have like a nice intro sort of shot. So I'm inside, the door's open, I'm getting that. Then I go through the living room, and then I'll go through the kitchen, the dining room, then I do the main bedroom, the main bathroom, the main closet, and then I do the secondary bedrooms, the offices, finally the extra bathrooms and any bonus rooms that goes along with that. From there, I'll jump outside, I'll get an extra shot with the door open, and then to help like kind of, from the exterior to the interior, capture the front of the house, the back of the house, the side yards if necessary. It's a really simple little formula, but it has been proven to be really, really effective and is a great way to go about shooting it. So if you guys have any questions or, want to learn more about it, I've got a PDF download below in the description. Check that out. It's free. Grab it, take a look at it. It should help you guys all the way through. It's a complete workflow and breakdown and editing guide. So take a look at that. Hopefully it helps you. Now let's get to shooting. Okay, so because the entryway to this home is pretty small, what I'm gonna do is step way back and get a little bit of the couches and things in that nature in it. So that way it kind of like feels a little bit bigger rather than super cramped. So So when I'm shooting my video, I'm really aiming to get clips that are about 3 to 5 seconds long. I feel like that's enough time to really grab a nice chunk of it in the middle. You can add a little speed ramp to it. You can cut off a little bit of shake in the beginning and end, and it ends up being the perfect length. You'll also notice that as I'm shooting and kind of pushing in and pulling back for the video, I'm not doing it with just my arms, but rather it's a whole body movement. This is an effort to like really smooth it out, because if you're moving with your arms, it could be a little bit more wiggly, versus if you're moving with your whole body, your hips and your legs, it's gonna be a lot smoother. Another tip is that as I'm going through, I'm really making sure that my verticals are correct. And what does that mean? It means that all the walls are very straight up and down. My camera isn't high up pointed down, it's not down low pointed up, because that can like really change the angle of your verticals. Make sure your verticals are perfectly straight, and it gives it that real estate look very quickly and easily. A simple tip that will go a long ways. Okay, so we've gone through, we got the door open shot, we got shot from here, 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 and here. So the living room is all finished up. The next thing to do is go into the dining room, then we'll go kitchen, of course hide the bag, and then we'll go back this way and get the bedrooms. One cool effect I like to use when doing video is using foreground to add a little bit extra depth. So if I'm right here, you get a little bit of this and a little bit of that wall, and as you push in, it almost like reveals and opens up to the dining room. So as I'm going through every room, I'm kind of thinking like, I want to have about 3 to 4, maybe 5 shots per area of the home, just to have enough that the agent will say he fully, totally covered it, and that way I can give them approximately 40 to 50 photos total. Okay guys, now for the reason that I brought the light wand, the RGB light stick. It's because the light in here is not working currently. Without the light wand, it's a little bit dark in there. But what I'm gonna try and do is match the color tone of the natural ambient. Stick this maybe around the corner in there and see if I can get it to somewhat look natural and nice. We'll see. Not a big deal if it doesn't. I can always lighten it up in Photoshop, but we'll see what we can do. Okay, so I placed the light wand up here. It's at 4600 Kelvin. It's kind of dim, but not too bright, but it should be enough to almost simulate as if the bulb was there. Because if I frame it up kind of like this, or maybe like this to get rid of the water heater, it should be perfectly fine and look totally normal. So that's the plan. One small piece of gear that can make all the difference. Now this specific tube light is going to be the Godox TL60. It's full RGB. It does a lot of cool effects and things like that. Incredible light. I'm really happy with it. I've actually got 4 in total. They're really nice for little shoots and things like that, or just little like pops of light when you need it. So I don't always bring it to my shoots, but in a situation like this where the agent says, hey, the lights are out in a few of the rooms, I always bring it for sure. It saved me a ton of times. All right, living room, kitchen, dining room, check, check, check. Next thing to do is do the main bedrooms, the side bedrooms, the offices, and the bathrooms. Let's do it. I've said it before, but one thing you really gotta watch out for is shadows and reflections, because that is the absolute sign of an amateur, right? Because if you're in here and you're getting this cool shot of the faucet and you turn the corner, boom, you're gonna see yourself in the camera, which is no good. So you gotta make sure that you're really playing with your angles and making sure you're not getting into it. You can do stuff like getting in between the mirrors. You could be just off to the side to get that shot. There's a lot of different cool ways you can do that, but making sure you're not in the shadows or reflections, absolute pro tip. Okay guys, now is the perfect time. Now that we've finished all the rooms, let's switch over to the 50mm 1.4. So with the 50mm 1.4, I really think of it as like a supplementary lens. I'm grabbing like 99% of my shots with the wide angle. It looks amazing, but I bring out the 50mm just to capture some of those sweet details. So what I'll do is I'll go through the house in the same order to make it easy for me and my editor when I'm editing. And that way everything flows together really smoothly. I'll probably get like 1, maybe 2 shots, you know, 1 shot in the kitchen, 2 shots in the living room, 2 shots in the main bedroom that will help bring the video and the photos up just an extra little bit. I found that when I'm shooting with the wide angle lens, I love being in manual mode. But when I'm shooting with the close-up lens, because the depth of field is so shallow at f1.4, I like to switch over to automatic focus. I find that I can set the automatic focus with the touchscreen on here. It locks onto the sink faucet, the piece of staging, whatever it is, and allows me to just kind of like nicely swirl around with the object and keep it perfectly in focus. So just a little tip for you if you're having trouble with the shallow depth of field and keeping things in focus, try out the automatic focus and see if it works for you. All right, with those final shots, we're done with the interior. Let's go, let's go.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, so our air conditioning and HVAC guy is still here. So normally we like to shoot the front of the house first, shoot for the edit, and then do the back of the house. But because this is happening, we will have to change plans and go for the back of the house first. Hopefully he's finished after that and we can do the front of the house. I think he's finishing up. So hopefully, if not, we'll just chill for a little bit, let him finish up, or talk to him about moving the truck. So let's see what we can do. So now that I'm looking at it, I think we can get away with shooting the front door. Maybe not the full front of the house, but at least the front door before he's left. So let's go with that just to keep it as close as possible to shooting for the edit. We will need to be aware that his van can be seen right there. So as long as we're kind of shooting like this or framing it out, we should be good. Now, of course, to match the interiors that we got before with the door open, I'm gonna have the door open here for a shot or two to make that really seamless transition from outside to inside. Okay, so the plan here is to get a little bit of this nice green bush in the foreground, and then we'll have the door open in the background and get the house numbers as well. All right, guys, we got lucky. Our friend is now leaving after performing what he needed to do, and the front of the house is ready. Perfect timing. Love when that happens. So we got that initial shot. Now we got to just get like kind of the main photos from the very front of the house. We'll get to the back. I'll be all wrapped up. Now, when it comes to workflow and kind of like how I go about capturing the front, like you saw, I captured the front of the door shot with it open, but then I also capture it with the door closed. So you have that extra option for the agent. And then I'm gonna go through and make sure I get one really solid, like straight on front of house type shot like that. Then I'll get a few from a corner over here, a corner over here. And then because we're above grade, right? We're up above. I'm gonna put the drone up probably somewhere about right here. Boom, one over there, one right here, maybe one over here, but we've got this bush tree in the way, so I don't know about that. And then we'll go to the backyard. Okay, so out here we're in the side yard, which is connected to the sliding glass door in the dining room. So what we'll do is get a few of the shots from over here, and what we can do during the edit is connect the dining room to this outside area. This kind of show a little bit of the outside, a little sneak preview before going back inside and continue with the interior shots. So I should have mentioned this earlier, but as I'm shooting outside, I've changed my settings a bit. So changed my white balance to be daylight, and then I warm it up a little bit. I kind of push it to a little bit more magenta, warmer tone. And then in regards to my aperture and my ISO, I really just leave my aperture F7, which is kind of nice right now. It's a little bit overcast, a little bit cloudy. And then I dropped my ISO a bunch. So I went from like 2000 or 1000 inside to now I'm down to 200 because there's so much ambient light out here. It's so much brighter. Just got to drop the ISO, make the sensor a little bit less sensitive to light. Something else I'm thinking about as I'm out here is that the side yard is a chain link fence here, as well as over here in the alleyway. So what I'm trying to think of is how can I really show off a sense of privacy as much as possible? Because obviously somebody who buys the house wants to feel like they're in their own little like magical paradise. And so I'm trying to choose angles and find ways to shoot it that I'm not seeing as much of the neighbors. I'm not seeing as much of the alleyway. I'm really seeing just this little cute area that the house is at. Amateur mistake that I see people make all the time is exposing for too much of the sky. So the main focal point of all this is the house, right? So if I'm shooting at the house and the sky is taking up the top third of the frame, sometimes the camera tells you to really close the lighting down so that way you get more of the sky. But at the end of the day, like the focus is on the house, right? So you want to make sure that you're not underexposing the house and overexposing the sky in the wrong way. All right, guys. The final step, and arguably the most fun, is of course the drone. So, got it going. What I like to do is set it up inside, get it all connected to all the satellites. This is a really cool like protector, much better than the stock one that the drone comes with. Get this going, get the drone going. Oh baby. Now, of course, an absolutely key feature if you're flying a drone is to make sure that you have your official FAA Part 107 pilot's license. So I went through a test, got it a couple years ago. It has been super awesome, super nice to have. It gives you so much more awareness of what's going on in the sky above you. It's kind of like learning the rules of traffic on the road. If you're driving around without a license, you have no idea. What do I do? Stop light, red light, turn right? I don't know. But when you know your stuff, it makes it a lot easier. So make sure that you have the necessary approval to fly before you do. That's my little warning and disclaimer just in case, because guys, it's actually really important. When it comes to settings for the drone, I try and match my video and photo settings that I shot inside. So I'm doing HDR with photos, I'm doing 4K with video. DJI calls it AEB, which I believe is like a automatic exposure bracketing or something similar to that, but it basically means HDR, but for drones. So I set my camera to that. I'm gonna try and just get some really gorgeous shots. I'll get the front of the house, a nice push in. We're not too far from the waterfront here, so I'm gonna get some nice wides from far away, capture some stuff like that. And at the end of the day, we're also gonna include some gorgeous shots from a local neighborhood that I already have shot. One shot I love to get is the top-down shot. So I'm here, I flip the gimbal down and you can see exactly the roof line, the property line, everything. It's a really great shot that agents always seem to ask for. Okay guys, the drone shots are completed, the interiors, the exteriors, everything looks incredible. Thank you again for joining me on this journey. Hope you learned a thing or two. I'm so excited to have you along. Please like, subscribe if you enjoy this type of content. I'm always putting out cool behind the scenes real estate photography vlogs. There's a lot to learn with this. So please, again, let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer them. I want you guys to do a great job out there capturing video for your clients, getting away from a typical 9-to-5 job and doing something more creative, more passionate, more fulfilling. There's a lot of opportunity out there if you know how to do it. Super pumped for you guys. So thanks again for watching. Next step is just to send everything to the editor, double check it when I get it back and send it off to the client. So appreciate you guys for following along. I'll see you on the next one.